Welcome everybody to R&D Auto Repairs. Today I'm going to be working on a mazda6 2.3. Going to be changing out rod bearings. So let's get to it. Alright, here we are. First things first, got to drain the oil, get the filter out. See what kind of shavings we got in there. Got a nice knock down here, so clearly the rod bearings are probably worn or broken. As you can see, pulled the filter. Quite a bit of metal shavings in there. Oil's not looking much better either. Can't really see the shavings in the oil. They've sort of sunken to the bottom, but they're in there. There's the wave of magnet around in there. I'm surprised what we pull out. So, next thing's next then, let's get this oil tray off. So, gone ahead and put the oil filter back on and put the cap back on so I don't get dripped on while I'm under here. So the bolts you're going to want to take off. There's two 13s, one there and then one there. And then the rest are going to be 10mm bolts all the way around, and then some on the side here as well. The timing chain cover, they all need to come out. All around here. Obviously your dipstick's got to come off. So let's get to it. Alright guys, so I said there was two 30mm bolts, one here and the other one's over the other side. You can't see it from this side, but I was wrong, there's actually three. There's another one here, and then you got two 10mm that have to come off there as well. Yeah, that was my mistake, I missed that one. So the other two already out. I'll get this third one out, and then we'll start working our way around. These are 10mm. And then the one's off the timing chain cover, which kind of a little bit tricky, but we'll get them. Okay, so we got the sump off, oil pan, whatever you want to call it, depending on what region you're from. You could tell I'm from England, but I live in the US. Anyhow, next we got to do is get the oil pickup off, take this off, and I believe we're good to get to the rod bearings. Maybe turn the cam over to make it easier for us. But I say we were going to do it, we're going to leave it in here. I did notice in the oil pan though, bit of grey sludge. There's obviously water getting into this. So it might even have a head gasket problem. Hopefully not. But we'll see. I don't think it's lost any coolant, but it's not even a lot of metal shavings in there really. There's some, but not as much as what I was expecting. A little build up in the corner here, but again that's filings. It is filings, but it's more watery than oil, so I was hoping I might have a head gasket to do as well. Okay guys, we've got the oil pickup off. Now we've got to take off these Torx bolts. We've got to look up what the Torx spec is when we put them back together. And you got one right up in there which you have to turn the cam over to bring that down so we can get to these. But we'll work on these two here first, and then we go from there. It's fairly simple to get it off. The four bolts that were on the pickup, they were 15mm. They were fairly tight to get off. I checked the spec on them, Torx spec, when we put them back. Let's go ahead and start taking these off and see what they look like. So here are the bearings out of cylinder 2 and 3. surprisingly, I mean they're worn, but they're not that worn out, you know. They're in pretty grim state, but they're not too bad. I mean, this one's looking a little bit thinner. Looking pretty rough. I already replaced number 2. Go ahead and put these back in number 3. Let's give you a quick look, see what it's like up in there. Bearing sits around on that, on the cam. You pull the piston back down, bolt it back up. And you'll make sure you put some sort of oil or lubricant around them before you put them back in there. Otherwise, you know, as soon as they turn, they're going to be dry. It's going to take a while for the oil to get to them otherwise, and you just cause heat and wear straight away. So yeah, make sure you put plenty of lube, either grease or oil, before you put them back in there. Also, I'd recommend giving the caps a bit of a clean out as well. Get all this like scratching and I don't know what that is in there, like burnt oil and stuff in it. Just grit and grime. Give that a bit of clean out, a bit of paper. I'm using P220. It's fine grade. Let's get it off nice and easily. There you go. Looking good as new. Almost. So yeah, let's start getting it back together. We'll see. We'll get your bearing down in there. We should get it like nice and square. Obviously, we've got to add oil in there first. So I'll go ahead and do that, and then I'll get back with you with a snap of a finger. Okay, so we've got those 2 back in, all torqued up. We're going to move on to the 4th and 1st cams. Got to obviously turn over the cam, bring them down. The other 2 should go up. Hopefully there's not much resistance. If it feels tough, hard to turn, then you might have over torqued them, but hopefully not. You know, you should be good. Right, let's move on to these 2. There was something else I was going to mention, but I honestly forgot what it was. So if it comes back to me, I'll bring it up. But let's move on to these ones. Here's the bearings from cylinder 1 and 4. Yeah, not too bad. Kind of worn still. Overall, not too bad. So rather polish this one though. It's somewhat thinner than the other. And yeah, back to what I was going to say before, what I forgot, was the torque spec. It's 35 to 40 foot-pounds to do these rod bolts up. So, gonna just have a torque wrench, and got them all back together. So now I'm just gonna start the process of cleaning up around the edges of the at the bottom of the engine, get all ready to reseal it. Put the oil pickup back on. I've actually got to wait for a new oil pickup to come. I didn't want to put the old one back on. It's full of metal shavings, so something you should check as well. Make sure yours is not full of shavings. You see down in there, I don't know if you can see very well. I did clean it out a bit, but still quite a few shavings down in there. It's hard to see, but you can sort of see it down in there. So yeah, I recommend getting yourself a new one of these, because otherwise it's pointless otherwise doing all this for nothing, putting all the shavings back into the engine. So yeah, I'll get back with you in a little bit when it all comes. Alright guys, we've got the oil pickup back on. It's all bolted down. Here goes the 35 foot-pounds as well. Everything's back together really. Just got to put the oil tray back on and dipstick back on. I'm not going to bother recording doing that. I mean, if you've come this far, I'm pretty sure you can figure out how to put the oil tray back on and reseal it. So with that, I'll call that a wrap, and I'll let you know how she gets on later on. Thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe if you found this video useful.